First contact and betrayal. Admiral Helena Chen stood motionless on the bridge of the EDF Sentinel, Earth's foremost orbital defense platform. The massive view screen before her displayed what everyone had both feared and anticipated for centuries. Indisputable proof that humanity was not alone in the universe. 7 obsidian vessels hung in the void beyond Luna's orbit, their surfaces seeming to absorb rather than reflect light. They had appeared without warning 3 hours ago, materializing from what sensors could only describe as spatial anomalies. Their arrival had triggered every defense system Earth possessed, yet they had made no aggressive moves. Still no response to our transmissions. Admiral, Lieutenant Marcus Rivera reported from the communication station. We've tried every frequency and protocol in the first contact package. Helena nodded, her dark eyes never leaving the alien formation. 25 years in Earth's unified defense force had prepared her for many things, but this moment carried the weight of human history on its shoulders. Continue broadcasting, she ordered, and inform the Security Council that I recommend maintaining Defense Posture Alpha. The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency around her, but Helena could sense their tension. Humanity had survived its own self-destructive tendencies, unified after the climate wars of the 2070s, and built a thriving civilization throughout the solar system. Now, their future hung in the balance of this encounter. Admiral, Rivera's voice cut through her thoughts, suddenly alert. We're receiving a transmission. The main screen flickered, and a figure appeared. Vaguely humanoid but unmistakably alien, it stood nearly 7 feet tall with iridescent blue-gray skin that seemed to shimmer with subsurface patterns. 4 amber eyes arranged in a diamond pattern regarded them with unsettling intelligence. People of Earth, the alien spoke in flawless English, its voice carrying an unusual harmonic quality. I am High Commander Vexlar of the Arxer Dominion. We have observed your civilization for some time and deemed you worthy of contact. Helena straightened her uniform. High Commander, I am Admiral Helena Chen of Earth's Unified Defense Force. We welcome peaceful contact with the Arxer Dominion and propose immediate diplomatic discussions. The alien's upper eyes narrowed slightly. Indeed. We have much to discuss regarding your integration into the greater galactic community. We request permission to establish a diplomatic outpost on your lunar surface as a gesture of goodwill. Something in the alien's tone triggered Helena's instincts, honed through decades of military service and diplomatic crisis. The request seemed innocuous enough, but the phrasing felt carefully calculated. We would be pleased to discuss such arrangements through proper diplomatic channels, Helena replied carefully. Our governing council is preparing representatives as we speak. Vexlar's expression remained unreadable. Of course, we will maintain position and await your delegation. We look forward to a productive relationship with humanity. As the transmission ended, Helena immediately contacted Earth's Security Council. Madam President, I recommend we proceed with extreme caution. Something doesn't feel right about this. President Amara Okafor's face appeared on a secondary screen, her expression grave. Your concerns are noted, Admiral. Our analysis teams are already reviewing the transmission. In the meantime, the diplomatic team will depart within 12 hours. Maintain vigilance. For 3 days, negotiations proceeded aboard a neutral vessel positioned between Earth and the alien fleet. The Arxer representatives spoke of galactic trade networks, technological exchange, and cultural sharing. They described a coalition of civilizations spanning hundreds of star systems, with the Arxer serving as peacekeepers and administrators. Helena attended each session, watching from the background as Earth's diplomats navigated the complex discussions. The aliens were polite, accommodating, and seemingly transparent, yet she couldn't shake her unease. On the 4th day, while reviewing sensor logs from the previous night, Lieutenant Rivera discovered something disturbing. Admiral, we've detected unusual energy patterns from the Arxer ships during our orbital night cycles, he reported, highlighting the readings on his display. They're conducting some form of scan that penetrates our defensive shields. They've mapped our entire defense grid. Helena's blood ran cold. When is the next diplomatic session? 2 hours from now. The final treaty draft is being prepared. Lock down all defense systems. Switch to isolated backup networks and prepare for potential hostile action, Helena ordered. And get me the president immediately. The warning came too late. As Helena was briefing President Okafor, the Arxer fleet suddenly dispersed, taking positions around Earth's major defense installations. Without warning or declaration, they fired. Blinding energy beams struck orbital platforms, lunar bases, and ground installations simultaneously. Earth's primary defense network collapsed in minutes, its automated systems compromised by the Arxer's previous scans. From her command center deep beneath the Rockies, Helena watched in horror as casualty reports flooded in. The Mars colonies had gone silent. The Jupiter mining stations were destroyed. Tens of thousands dead in the first strike alone. Vexillar's transmission came through on all remaining channels. People of Earth, your defenses have been neutralized. Your governing bodies have been targeted. Your military capabilities have been assessed and found insufficient. The Arxer Dominion requires your world's resources and your population's labor. Surrender now, and many of you will be permitted to live and serve. Resist, and you will be eliminated. You have 6 hours to comply. The transmission ended, leaving a stunned silence in the command center. Around Helena, military leaders and government officials who had managed to reach the bunker stared at screens displaying the devastation. How could they break through our defenses so easily? Someone whispered. Helena's mind raced. The Arxer had clearly studied humanity extensively before making contact. They knew Earth's defensive capabilities, its governmental structures, its communication systems. But there was one thing they couldn't possibly know about. Project Lazarus, she said suddenly. President Okafor, her face ashen but composed, looked up. You can't be serious. Madam President, we have no choice, Helena insisted. They think they know everything about our capabilities. Lazarus is our only chance. For 30 years, in the aftermath of the climate wars, Earth's unified government had secretly maintained a contingency program codenamed Lazarus. Hidden throughout the solar system were automated manufacturing facilities, stealth-shielded weapons platforms, and experimental technology derived from theoretical physics. Originally created as insurance against human factionalism, Lazarus had remained dormant, its existence known only to a select few. President Okafor studied Helena's face for a long moment before nodding. Initiate Lazarus. God help us all. Helena entered her authorization code into a secure terminal. Across the solar system, dormant systems awakened. In the asteroid belt, massive fabrication units began constructing vessels unlike anything humanity had publicly acknowledged. On Europa and Titan, hidden launch facilities prepared specialized weapons platforms. In the scattered debris of the Kuiper Belt, stealth observation posts activated advanced sensor arrays. All surviving military and civilian assets. This is Admiral Chen. Helena broadcast on the secure Lazarus frequency. Implement Protocol Erebus immediately. This is not a drill. Throughout what remained of Earth's defense network, officers and civilian administrators received encoded instructions. Emergency powers were distributed to regional commanders. Evacuation protocols were initiated for key personnel and resources. The remnants of humanity's conventional forces prepared for a desperate holding action. 6 hours later, Vexillar received Earth's official response. Rather than the expected surrender, a simple message was transmitted. The people of Earth reject your terms. The Arxer attack resumed immediately. Their ships descended toward Earth's surface, targeting population centers with precision strikes. But this time, something unexpected happened. As the first Arxer vessels entered Earth's atmosphere, they encountered resistance unlike anything their scans had detected. Invisible energy fields suddenly materialized, deflecting their weapons fire. From hidden installations on Earth's surface, previously undetected defense systems activated, firing phase-shifted projectiles that bypassed Arxer shields completely. In orbit, the first wave of Lazarus vessels emerged from stealth. Small, agile craft with minimal crew requirements engaged the surprised Arxer ships. Their hulls incorporated metamaterials that absorbed sensor scans, making them nearly invisible until they attacked. Commander Eliza Duchamp led the first counterattack from her stealth corvette, the Nemesis. All Lazarus vessels execute Pattern Sierra, target their command and control systems first. The Arxer, caught completely off guard by the appearance of weapons technology they hadn't detected, struggled to coordinate a response. 3 of their ships were disabled in the first 10 minutes of engagement, their systems overloaded by precisely targeted electromagnetic pulses. On Earth's surface, hidden bunkers opened to reveal quantum artillery emplacements. These experimental weapons, developed in absolute secrecy, fired projectiles that briefly phased between dimensional states, bypassing conventional defenses completely. Vexillar's flagship suffered a direct hit from one such weapon. The energy core destabilized, forcing the Arxer commander to abandon the vessel. As his escape pod jettisoned toward the remaining Arxer ships, Vexillar received reports that painted an impossible picture. The supposedly primitive humans, who should have been easy prey for the Dominion's forces, were fighting back with technology that rivaled or exceeded their own. And according to long-range sensors, more human vessels were emerging from hidden bases throughout the solar system. For the first time in his long career of conquest, High Commander Vexillar felt something unfamiliar: doubt. Humanity's revelation. General Thrix of the Arxer Dominion's 3rd Conquest Fleet could not believe the tactical display before him. Half of the vanguard force sent to subjugate Earth had been disabled or destroyed within 24 hours of the initial attack. The remaining ships had withdrawn to a defensive position near Mars, regrouping while awaiting reinforcements. "This is impossible," he hissed to his subordinates. The assessment team spent 5 solar cycles studying these primitives. Their most advanced weapons were barely sufficient to reach their own system's edge. The tactical officer, her scales flushed with stress colors, gestured to the display. "The humans employed technology that wasn't detected in any of our scans, General. Their weapons phased through our shields as if they weren't there. And these vessels," she indicated the swarm of small craft harassing their perimeter, "they're practically invisible to our sensors until they attack." Thrix slammed a clawed hand on the console. Where did they hide such capabilities? How did our intelligence fail so completely? The answer came not from his crew, but from an unexpected transmission that bypassed their communication security protocols. Every screen on the Arxer vessel suddenly displayed the image of a human female in a military uniform, her dark eyes reflecting determination rather than fear. "This is Admiral Helena Chen of Earth's Unified Defense Force," she stated calmly. "You came to our home uninvited. You offered peace while preparing for war. You attacked without provocation or warning. Now you ask yourselves how your conquest failed." The image shifted to show facilities hidden beneath planetary surfaces, within asteroids, and concealed by advanced cloaking technology throughout the solar system. "For generations, we humans fought amongst ourselves," Helena continued as the images displayed Earth's hidden military infrastructure. "We nearly destroyed our civilization more than once. When we finally united, we swore never again to be unprepared for existential threats, whether they came from within or beyond." The transmission showed massive manufacturing complexes concealed within hollowed-out asteroids, producing vessels and weapon systems far beyond what the Arxer had believed humans capable of creating. While we publicly focused on peaceful development, we quietly prepared for the possibility that we might not be alone in the universe, and that our neighbors might not be friendly. General Thrix watched in growing horror as the transmission displayed human weapons capabilities that matched or exceeded Arxer technology: phase shift propulsion, quantum entangled communications, dimensional displacement shields, technologies the Dominion had only theoretical knowledge of, yet these primitives had operationalized them. "We allowed you to see what we wanted you to see," Admiral Chen explained. The defensive capabilities you so easily neutralized were our public systems, the ones we maintained for minor threats. What you're facing now is Lazarus, our insurance policy against extinction. The image returned to Admiral Chen's face. You have 12 hours to withdraw from our solar system completely. Any Arxer vessel remaining after that time will be destroyed. This is not a negotiation. As the transmission ended, General Thrix received alarming reports from his long-range scouts. Human vessels were emerging from hidden bases on Jovian moons, from the shadows of Saturn's rings, from camouflaged installations in the Kuiper Belt. An entire parallel military infrastructure, invisible to their most advanced scans, had awakened throughout the solar system. In the command bunker beneath the Rockies, Helena turned to President Okafor and the assembled military leadership. The message has been delivered. Our forces are in position. Do you think they'll withdraw? Asked General Takahashi, commander of Earth's conventional ground forces. Helena studied the tactical display showing the Arxer fleet's movements. No, their reinforcements will arrive within 16 hours. They'll try to overwhelm us with numbers. Then we proceed with the second phase, President Okafor said firmly. Operation Lighthouse. While the Arxer regrouped, humanity's hidden forces advanced. Deep within the asteroid belt, a massive structure that had been disguised as a mining operation reconfigured itself, revealing its true purpose. Nearly 5 kilometers long, the vessel Prometheus detached from its concealment, its hull bristling with weapon systems and sensor arrays. Commander Eliza Duchung, now coordinating Earth's mobile defense fleet, received her new orders. All vessels, form up around the Prometheus. Prepare for dimensional shift on my mark. The Arxer reinforcements arrive precisely when expected. 3 massive dreadnoughts and dozens of support vessels emerging from faster-than-light travel just beyond Mars' orbit. They immediately move to join the surviving ships of the Vanguard, preparing for a massive assault on Earth. What they didn't expect was for Earth's forces to attack first, or for human vessels to appear seemingly out of nowhere in the midst of their formation. The Prometheus and its escort fleet executed what Lazarus researchers had designated a dimensional shift, a momentary phase through an adjacent reality that allowed them to effectively teleport across short astronomical distances. One moment, the Earth fleet was gathered near the asteroid belt. The next, they materialized amid the Arxer Armada. Phase-shifted weapons fire tore through Arxer vessels before they could reorient their defenses. Quantum-linked drones attached themselves to enemy ships, bypassing shields to deliver electromagnetic pulses directly to critical systems. General Thrix watched his tactical display dissolve into chaos as human forces materialized throughout his fleet's formation. How are they doing this? He roared as his flagship rocked with impacts. Defensive pattern zenith. Target their largest vessel. The Arxer dreadnoughts concentrated their fire on the Prometheus, but their energy weapons scattered harmlessly against its dimensional displacement shields. Return fire from the human vessel was devastatingly precise, targeting propulsion and weapon systems rather than attempting to destroy the enormous Arxer ships outright. Within an hour, the battle was effectively over. 2 Arxer dreadnoughts drifted powerless, their critical systems offline. The third had managed to withdraw, suffering heavy damage. Most of their support vessels were disabled or destroyed. Among the captured Arxer ships was General Thrix's command vessel. The general himself was taken into custody, along with hundreds of Arxer personnel, and most importantly, their data cores. As Earth's intelligence analysts pored through the captured information, a disturbing picture emerged. The Arxer Dominion was an expansionist empire that had conquered 17 other civilizations across nearly 40 star systems. Earth wasn't targeted by chance. The Dominion systematically sought out developing worlds with valuable resources and technological potential. Their standard procedure was chillingly efficient. Observe the target civilization, establish seemingly peaceful contact, identify and neutralize key defenses with a surprise attack, then demand surrender. Most species capitulated quickly when faced with overwhelming technological superiority. Those that resisted were brutally subjugated or eradicated. But the Arxer had never encountered a species like humans, one that presented a deliberately deceptive technological facade while maintaining a hidden military infrastructure specifically designed to counter exactly the kind of threat the Dominion represented. 7 days after the battle, Earth was ready to deliver its final message. Using the captured Arxer communication technology, Admiral Helena Chen prepared to address not just the retreating Arxer forces, but the entire Dominion. The quantum entangled transmission would reach every Arxer communication system simultaneously, regardless of distance. More importantly, it would also reach every world under Arxer control. Every subjugated species that had surrendered to the Dominion's overwhelming power. Helena stood before the camera in her formal uniform, flanked by the Earth Security Council and military leadership. Behind them stood captured Arxer officers, including General Thrix, their presence visible proof of the Dominion's defeat. Attention, leadership and citizens of the Arxer Dominion. Helena began, her voice steady and clear. 1 standard week ago, your forces attacked Earth without provocation after offering peaceful relations. Today, I address you as the survivors of your invasion force return home in defeat. The transmission displayed footage of the battle, showing Arxer ships disabled by weapons they couldn't counter and tactics they couldn't anticipate. We have accessed your military databases. We know the Arxer Dominion spans nearly 40 star systems. We know you have conquered 17 species, all of whom you deemed technologically inferior. We know you believed Earth would be an easy conquest. Helena's expression hardened. You were wrong. The transmission now showed Earth's hidden capabilities. The dimensional shift technology that allowed vessels to teleport across space, the manufacturing capacity concealed throughout the solar system, the weapons that could bypass any known defense. What you witnessed was not the full extent of our capabilities, but merely what was necessary to defeat your forces. We could have destroyed your retreating vessels. We chose not to. We could launch an immediate counter-invasion against the Dominion's core worlds. Again, we choose not to. The camera pulled back to show the captured Arxer officers. General Thrix stood rigid, his scales muted with the Arxer equivalent of shame. Instead, we offer the Arxer Dominion these terms. First, immediate independence for all conquered species under your control. Second, reparations to those worlds for resources extracted and lives lost. Third, complete demilitarization of your interstellar fleet. Helena leaned forward slightly. Since you chose war, we have a message for you. Humanity will not be conquered. We will not be subjugated, and we will not stand by while other civilizations suffer under your oppression. The transmission shifted again, showing the Prometheus and its escort fleet preparing for dimensional shift. A clear demonstration that Earth possessed the capability to strike anywhere in Arxer space. You have 30 Earth days to begin implementation of these terms. We will know if you comply. Representatives of Earth will contact each of the worlds currently under your control to verify their liberation. Any attempt to retaliate or delay will be met with immediate and decisive action. Helena's final words were directed not just at the Arxer, but at every subjugated species now watching with growing hope. To all civilizations currently under Arxer control, Earth stands with you. Your liberation begins today. We invite peaceful contact with all species who wish to build a more just galactic community. As the transmission ended, President Okafor turned to Helena. Do you think they'll comply? Helena watched as the captured Arxer were escorted from the chamber. General Thrix had not spoken a word during the transmission, but his eyes had revealed everything. The Dominion had never faced a defeat like this. They had never encountered a species that had not only anticipated their tactics, but had prepared specifically to counter them. They'll comply, Helena said confidently. Their entire strategy depends on technological superiority. We've demonstrated that they don't have that advantage over us. More importantly, we've shown every world in their empire that the Dominion can be defeated. In the days that followed, humanity prepared for its new role in the wider galaxy. The Lazarus Project, once Earth's last resort defense, was repurposed for peaceful exploration and diplomatic outreach. The first missions departed for the nearest formerly subjugated worlds, carrying representatives who only weeks earlier had never imagined making first contact with alien civilizations. Admiral Helena Chen, standing on the observation deck of the Prometheus as it prepared for its first diplomatic mission, reflected on how quickly everything had changed. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just victorious, but poised to reshape the galactic order. Admiral, Lieutenant Rivera called from the communications station. "We're receiving responses from 3 systems already. They're eager for contact." Helena nodded, watching as Earth grew smaller in the view screen. The message humanity had delivered wasn't just a warning to aggressors, it was a promise to the oppressed. In facing the Arxer threat, humanity had discovered its place among the stars not as conquerors or the conquered, but as liberators. "Set course for the Proxima system," she ordered. "Let's introduce ourselves properly this time." The Prometheus engaged its dimensional drive, disappearing in a flash of displaced reality. Humanity's true first contact with the galaxy had begun.